This is like historical.
Now bound for the moon.
I'm confused on where we're supposed to go. Somebody's in our van. There's one over there. You are now leaving the U.S.
Follow the road into the sky. Never let adventures pass you by. Be free and follow your crazy dreams. We're living our vision in the RV. Come ride with us and you'll be free.
We don't really know how far back in here that we go, do we?
I have to admit, it's a little creepy coming back in here. This is not really a tourist destination. I hope we don't get held captive.
I'm glad it's not raining because I'm not sure if this road would be great during the rain.
No, wouldn't be great. Did we say there's a lot of potholes?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of potholes. Oh, I see.
I see something.
I see an end in sight. Hopefully not ours.
No parking inside village.
Private property, no trespassing. Let's see what the sign says. Welcome to our land. You are now leaving the U.S. You're entering the Yoruba Kingdom.
In the name of His Highness Oba Itintola, peace, welcome to the sacred Yoruba village in North America, built by priests of the Vodun cult as a tribute to our ancestors. These priests preserve the custom, laws, and religion of the African race. Welcome to our land.
Just in case if you rode in and didn't see the sign, notice you are leaving the U.S. You are entering into the Yoruba Kingdom. Welcome to our land, or as we say, Ekabo, Ekabo. It's a slow day today. Actually, we have a lot of our members actually in Atlanta. It was a festival in Atlanta, but we definitely welcome to. It's kind of a good day. Some people like it when it's kind of more calm and quiet. So during the tour, you welcome, like I said,
We are officially out of the United States and inside this hidden African village. But to understand how we went from a normal road trip to crossing an international border in South Carolina, we need to back up a bit. On our way out of Florida, we timed it just right to see the launch of the Artemis II mission.
Holy cow, they're going to camp out all day?
Well, we made it, and holy cow, I am so glad we came early. As soon as we pulled into this spot, truck camper just pulled in beside us. There are people lined up on the bridge already with their tripods, getting their spot.
It's just the first step toward an eventual moon landing in 2028.
We wanted to get there bright and early and make sure we could grab a good parking spot for our 24-foot van. That's one of the things we really appreciate about traveling this way. We were able to park, work during the day, make lunch in our own kitchen, and then, when the time came, we were already right there for the historic launch.
Minutes 45 seconds of mission elapsed time into the Artemis II mission. Thrusters on integrity and upper stage confirmed in ready state.
Houston integrity, good last jettison, great view.
Open it within a few seconds.
Copy jettison, Team 8 plus 02.
I was like very emotional once it lifted off. I was just like, this is like historical, and
Yeah, well it is.
still that way.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
After the launch, it took about 2.5 hours before they finally let everyone drive back across the bridge and get on their way. So from there, we continued heading north, made a Bucky stop.
There's your Bucky. Okay, let's go.
Spent another night at a Cracker Barrel, got potable water at Tomoka State Park in Ormond Beach, and since their dump station was closed for repairs, we hit a Love's in Ormond Beach to dump our tanks. Then we met up with some friends for a little quality time together, including a ride in their boat where we were lucky enough to see a few dolphins swimming, playing, and feeding.
Oh, cool.
Then it was time to say goodbye.
Hey, somebody's in our van. What are you guys doing?
This looks like fun.
But not before they tried to take off with our van. Although honestly, it might have been a pretty fair trade for their beautiful home. From there, we kept making our way north with a couple more stops before overnighting in Savannah, Georgia.
Michelle went ahead and went inside. Gonna go grab her some brisket. I'm gonna get us some fuel, just top it off. We don't really need it yet. Go ahead and top it off here and get back on the road. It's Bucky. I know him. The best part of traveling, not the national parks. No, just kidding, just kidding. It ranks right up there though.
And that brings us to the next morning, and one of the most unexpected stops we've made in a long time. The kingdom of Oyotunji African village.
So don't be surprised if you
I can talk your language, buddy.
So here we have our Oyo horsemen. This is kind of event center. That's job is garden right now. This is kind of like our event center where we kind of throw all kind of different things, workshops, classes, all kind of different things. This is kind of our meetup area. If you go to this area here, this is the Elia Creek area. Of course, sometimes people want to just stay with us just for a little bit. They just kind of want to just vibe and different things. This is the different rooms that people can rent out. We actually have maybe like 2 guests with us right now, kind of just, enjoying the off-grid life in Oyotunji. Mm-hmm. Of course, right now it's warming up, which we are happy. But of course, when it's in the wintertime, this is kind of our area. We love to kind of congregate, do drumming, fires, all that kind of different things. It's kind of like the fire pit congregational area where we do. And it's really nice. If you could ever come, you are always welcome to come to our drum circles and different things like that. All right, so we're going to keep it going. People from all around the world come to Oyotunji for many different reasons. One of the many things that people love to come to Oyotunji is what you consider as our Gungun masquerades, okay? It's a great ancestral masquerade that we do. Definitely during every festival. Usually on the Saturday, we'll do the Gungun masquerade. So it's just something that you can definitely see. Of course, in Nigeria, in those places like that, it's done every day. So because so many people, practice this faith. But of course, here in the U.S., people all around the world come to see the Gungun masquerades at each festival. If you haven't seen it, you can check out this documentary. It's called Bigger Than Africa. You can definitely check it out. It's a very good documentary. It was actually on Netflix, but you can find it at many different places. Okay. We also a private community, so we always take in many different things, building supplies, machinery, tools, all kind of different things just to keep us afloat. Because again, we are a private community. But again, thank you again for your contribution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so here we have, of course, you have the person with the dream. This is Abba Efuntala. Abba Efuntala is the founder of Oyotunji, actually born right in Detroit, Michigan. His father was actually, practiced the Marcus Garvey movement, was a member of the Marcus Garvey movement. But of course, he actually got initiated to the Abatala, in Matanza, Cuba in 1957. He continued his studies, just advancing himself into this great faith of this African spiritual sciences, and he ended up being in Nigeria, of course, the homeland of it. From there, that's when he actually was crowned as a Babalawo. 1971, he was actually invited back by the owner of Ife at that time, and that's when he was actually given the crown of the father of the Yorubas of the North America. And of course, Abba Efuntala did what he did in promoting and spreading the knowledge of our great culture, this great tradition, and he kept it alive. Of course, during his time period was the time of that, was considered Oyotunji's greatest time. It was considered maybe over 250 people living in Oyotunji at that time. You can definitely see many different publications that speak of Oyotunji around that time, so definitely look it up. There's so many, it's various networks and publications with great works of our first king, Abba Efuntala. Of course, when he transitioned, we had to figure out who would be the next king. So we have the next king to take the crown was his son. Of course, it had to be a Dafa done. In our culture, what we do is a reading to determine everything. It was many different children and all of those different things. A process had to go through. And of course, the next person to be chosen was Abba Adejuebe Adefumini. Okay, he actually one of those great kings that, you know, just did his thing and keeping up his father tradition. He was a people person. He did great with letting people, of course, around his age group, but of course people all around the world, but he was very vibrant in his personality. So that's what a lot of people, he was very known, you know, in our community and just worldwide, because his vibrant personality and he did what he needed to do into keeping the traditions alive and the destiny of his father continue going. Of course, now we are in that process now to see who will be our next Abba of Oyotunji, and we will see what happens. Okay. So Eshu is the road opener. As you see, Eshu is kind of even looking at the crossroads of Oyotunji, looking who comes in, who comes out. He's the watcher. Okay. Eshu colors is red and black. His number is 3. Of course, he loves candy, palm oil, all those kind of different things. We actually just had a festival for Eshu a couple of weeks ago. So he just was just venerated, had a real nice time. So yeah, it was really good. But of course, you know, we usually have a whole bunch of toys and candies and different things like that. But of course, you know, children can come and kind of get things off the altar. So during that festival, they kind of took all the bites and all of those different things. But yeah, so we kind of got to re-up. But this is Eshu. Eshu, like I said, is the road opener, one that you know, go to open the doors. Many people, of course, there's many different stories about Eshu, or some people may have different names. You know, some people may say Papa Legba, different names. But of course, in our system, we call them Eshu. Do y'all have any questions? Would you like to give Eshu an offering of candy, money, anything like that? Then you can throw it on. Yep. Now you're gonna spin 3, 2.
Put your right foot in. Put your...
Yep, wiggle. All right, so in our system, it's very, the foundation of our culture. Many people say, well, how I get in, how I get started, and all those different things. The main thing, of course, you will get a reading. But of course, what you do is you will work with your ancestor. The ancestors is the foundation of our traditions. You work with your ancestors to guide you, to protect you. Everyone, you are welcome to look through these kind of windows here. You can see pictures of the Aladahunu as well as the Adafumi family clans of our first Abba Funtala Essedmi. And of course, like I said, we still continue to do that in Oyotunji. Our first thing, well, we wanted to kind of show this in kind of art form. You can see all of these buildings in this courtyard here is held up by women. You can see the whole areas, all those statues over there, all those statues over here is held up by the women. He wanted to show the power of the women, okay? Because many societies and different things kind of look down, the women is, and down the woman. But of course, in our society, women is, you know, valued for what they can bring to a culture, what they can bring to it. So that's kind of why you see all these buildings is held up by the woman's hand. As our first king used to say, you know, if a woman can do it, you know, it's always, it's going to keep put together. It's going to stay together.
I got a question. Are those real?
His number is 6. His colors is the red and white. This is the symbol of Shango. You can see this double sworded axe. Shango is that Orisha, all about that's bringing the leadership, bringing the people who the movers. That's the energy of Shango. The Shango person, you know, because they're not scared at all to speak up, to say what they need to do. That's the energy of Shango. Now, one thing about Shango teaches us is the value of our tongue, okay? Because as you see, that tongue carries our shade. You could be the most powerful leader, but you don't know how to talk to your people. You don't know how to move. Your whole community can just go away.
Yeah.
Your whole business can go apart. So not only is, you know, he teaches the value of our words, how we speak to people. He also teaches us about the importance of not lying. So Shango is at Orisha. Not only was he Orisha, he was also a king, the fourth king of Oyo. So it's a lot of information that you can find out about Shango. The Orisha Shango as well as the King Shango. Like I said, Shango is just that Orisha that comes with it, that builds, that brings that power, that brings that leadership energy. All right, we're going to keep it going. Here we have our Mama KK. Her priest name is actually Oshun Funke, okay? She was actually a very great Oshun priestess. She was initiated up under our first king. She was good for charm making. She had many godchildren. What is the godchildren? In our culture, how people learn the traditions, you have to learn up under someone. Of course, you can go online and find the basis of this and the basis of that, but to know the culture, you have to actually work with someone and it's passed down in the tradition, okay? So, a little history glimpse of it. Oyotunji actually didn't begin in this land that you stepping in, okay? The first temple was actually in New York, which was called the Don Balawedo Temple. Of course, when our first king, he came, he wanted to start something, but it was kind of like, hold up. We can't have animals and do drumming and African drumming and all that. We need a more private place. So, of course, that's why South Carolina was chosen. The reason I kind of left that part here to kind of go back here because Mama KK was one of those priests from New York that brought a lot of people with her. Kind of how I spoke about those 250 people. They said that she brought a good half of them with her because how powerful she was, not only as a reader, as a charm maker, all of those kind of different things. If you look at many different publications and documentaries of voodoo within the U.S., you're going to see her picture and see her face because she was very, very fundamental in bringing that into the U.S. Chief Awolowo was a self-taught linguist, okay? He was the one that definitely, of course, we have people, African Americans trying to learn a whole nother custom and language and all those different things. So, of course, we needed someone to kind of learn the language and have that the educational part that we needed to know. So, of course, he helped with teaching the language, making songs, all kind of different things, okay? And he was also a Batala priest initiated up under our first Abba. Here we have another Batala priest. This is Chief Time, which was actually which was actually my first godfather before he transitioned. So Chief Eliaton was just that father of the town. He was the person that kind of keep everybody together. He was that person that was just the leader, the person you could go to for all kind of different information. He worked very close with the first and the second king. So he was the person that kind of like geared people into know what they need to do. If you see many of the different documentaries and videos and different things, most likely you have seen Chief Eliaton speaking. Why? Because not only was he a great priest, he was also very good with public speaking, dealing with different people, because y'all know some people could be just so spiritual, but then they can't blend in certain situations. So he was that person that could just blend in everywhere, as well as very knowledgeable in the culture, the historical facts, and just a good person overall. So here we have Chief Abadokun. He was actually a Yemoja priest initiated under Abba Fontala. He was actually from Milwaukee. He was a politician. He was very fundamental in bringing forth like the Juneteenth movements and different things like that. So he was actually, like I said, a Yemoja priest. So with his efforts, we can still stand today and stay. We have a private land, of course. You got to have people who know politics and know all of those different things like that to keep us, and we still standing. If you know, like most of those other civil rights groups that kind of, around that time, the 60s, 70s, non-existent, but we are, the one that's still here. All right, so here we have the father of the town, which is Abatala. Abatala means the king of the all-white cloth. Abatala, like I said, is the father of the town. We have a father and mother of the town, which we would get to a little later, which the mother of the town is Oshun, we would get to later. But we actually come to Abatala weekly. We come to Abatala weekly just to venerate Abatala, to make sure, our minds are good, as we consider as our ori is good, as well as the town is good. We want to make sure the energy is good when you come in and cleanse and feeling good and all of those kind of different things. So that's, of course, why we work with Abatala. Abatala, his number is 8, and he just, like I said, it's that energy of the all whiteness, the cleansing. Do we have any questions about any of these Orishas, Gungun over there, anything? So Yamaja is that Orisha that deals with the mothers and the children, okay? As you see, you can see many different paintings dealing with the mothers and dealing with the children and the great feminine aspects that Yamaja brings. Yamaja, as you see, you have many different colors. The blue and white is her color. Her number is 7. So Yamaja is that Orisha, just how we said, how local is kind of underneath the ocean. Yamaja is known as that Orisha of the top of the ocean, per se, that kind of those where the mermaids and things live. So this is the energy of Yamaja, and also in this wall here, because this whole area is dedicated to Yamaja and the energy of the mothers, we also have this great, just a wall, just venerating many of some great women who have contributed, just to the overall history, African history, many different people. So we have to always, give honor to those who came before us. So it's a very powerful thing, when we do that veneration. So that's what you see in this area, this whole tomb, this whole area over here. And something else I want to point out with these pictures you see on this kind of gate was pictures that was actually inside of the shrine, inside of the first shrine that was here. And you can kind of see a depiction of it. Of course, like I said, we try our best to try to keep the authentic feel of the village. Of course, we try our best to kind of keep up some of the things. But as you see, some of the paintings is kind of going down. But you can kind of see a glimpse of, kind of what the inside of a shrine would kind of look like, the depictions, that's within the shrine. So we'll see what will be in the next shrine for Yamaja. The purpose of the village is for people to, be here, live here, have your own land, create your own land. So sometimes people stay, let's say they may stay in a guest house for a little bit. It's like a time period on that. You can't stay there more than 3 months. You know what I mean? The whole thing of it is like, we want you to be here and create your own thing. So this is kind of a temporary kind of stand until people can kind of, get on their feet and get their whole housing situation together. If you look here, this is kind of an example of how you see how some of the chiefs and priests live in a village. It will always be fenced in. It's usually fenced in and different things like that because, of course, when we're doing a tour, let's say you a client coming, you want your privacy and different things like that. So most of the priests will have their elays fenced in. Oshun, number 5. She's her color. She loves the golden, the copper type colors. Oshun is the Orisha that's all about love, okay? Oshun is the Orisha that brings blessings, sweetness, bring the sweetness in our life, okay? Everybody want a sweet life, a happy life. That's what Orisha want us to have. Not only does Oshun speaks a lot about love, she also speaks about self-love, love for yourself. And one of the things that Oshun definitely teaches us is you have to love yourself before you love others. You have to. That's just the process of love, of loving yourself before you love others. And she also, always teach about the sweetness, speaking sweet. How you talking to people is sweet words. How you moving is nice. Oshun is that Orisha that check you real quick if you have an ego or you you spending too much, you too whatever. She's the one that can check you a lot because it's all about you can have the greatest of anything in life, lots of money, all that, but how you move with people, how you move with those around you, your overall energy is one of the main things that Oshun teaches us. So we give thanks to Oshun for that, which is one of the female Irumale. So definitely one of those powerful Orishas. Within as I said, Oshun is actually our next festival. So if you guys are close by, definitely come. It'll be May 1st through 3rd. It's actually one of our biggest festivals. We have many different festivals, but this festival brings a lot of people, not only because it brings people, they trying to get a husband or a wife or or they did an offering that year. Now they got the husband. Now they want to bring the kids, and we have a lot of weddings and all that kind of different things. And it's also a festival that many people, even around the area, kind of be with us and join us, because some people like, how y'all not as brave as you, they scared to come down the road for some reason. But during that festival, we actually do a parade kind of in Bailey, so many people around the community come and kind of like to show out come to that event. It's a beautiful event. But yeah, it's definitely something that you just definitely have to just check out. Some things you can see it, but something you just gotta feel and kind of just be there and present in the moment. So if you can make it, definitely it's a beautiful, it's a lovely event. Just like the energy of a shoe brings, sweet, good vibes, nice energy. She accepted it. So even though it's whatever, you still have to throw to see if she like it now, because she might be like, I don't even want that, So that's why, even though we doing a quick thing, you still have to make sure it's okay to the Orisha. Yeah, cloths, like pretty cloths. She like I said, we just had a festival, so it was Eshu, Ogun, and Achosi. So of course, y'all, we did Eshu first. Of course, he's the roll opener, and now you can see Ogun and Achosi. As you can see, like I said, it was the offering. It was a very nice festival. You can still see some of the remnants left. Okay, so Ogun is that just a powerful Orisha. Ogun, as you say, is the sign is Ogun, like Ogun and Walaka, the strong and powerful one. Okay, Ogun color usually is the green and black. Number 3, of course, you can see Ogun as well as the Chosi here. Ogun is the Orisha that's about the iron. The Orisha that's all about justice, making things happen. Okay. Of course, like you can see, compared to all of the other shrines, Ogun is that Orisha that's ready for war. You can see the machine tools and different things like that. Of course, you can see, with Ogun colors, green and black, of course, even the military has the green and black colors. Some things don't be just by chance, I'll tell you that. So a lot of times in our faith, different Orishas, they say each of you have a different spirit that you walk with. You different from her, your mind is different. So everybody has their kind of own path, but Orisha, Ogun is that one that can kind of, cut through different things, cut through different paths of what you need, cut through different things, any type of destruction, anything going on, Ogun could cut it and remove it away. So not only is it a thing just talk about like enemies or war or whatever, but it can also be talk about spiritual things that you got to get cut, because there's things inside of us that we got to get killed as well. So it's that same energy. Ogun also works with that too. Like I said, Ogun is just a very powerful Orisha. As you see, we have the many different phalluses and different things on the tomb about Ogun, because within the shrine is also connected to what's considered as our Akikanju society, which is our men's society. Of course, every year we have many new different initiates that come to join in onto the men's society. So like I said, we just had some new initiates that cross over as well. So that's why you can see, of course, the phalluses here. But of course, Ogun can also take woman heads as well. Of course, then we have Achosi also sitting with Ogun. They kind of like they work together. It's considered as Eshu, Ogun, and Achosi is considered the warriors in our culture. The people like ready for it. Achosi is the one that's all about making things hit the target. Of course, even if you're the best gunman, you want to make sure it's hitting the target. You want to make sure what you want is hitting the target. The things you want in life is hitting the target. Your prayers is hitting exactly where you want it to be. Whatever, that's kind of the energy of that. That's why we work, of course, with those two work together joiningly. Do we have any questions about Oh, y'all, is that you can see these the pictures of the tornado, wind, all those. That's the energy of y'all. She can bring the wind, the changes, and all of that's the energy. Oh, y'all is also the guardian of the cemetery. So oh, y'all has many different roles. She's a very powerful Orisha. It's even said that in some of the text is like even some of the powerful men Orishas, they shiver at the thought of Oya getting angry. So as you can think about, that's the energy of Oya. Of course, like I said, she is the guardian of the cemetery. So if you see over here, you can see this little small kind of adobe house that says Ile Ipu, which means the house of the dead, because she works with the dead, or as we say, she works very closely with the Gungun. Also, you can see is this shrine of Mama Loja, because Oya is also the guardian of the marketplace. Okay, so many people, especially people into stocks and marketplace, all that kind of stuff, they love to kind of come and give her wines and cakes and all of that when they're doing stock exchanges and all of that. And so it's always a good thing because, you know, a lot of times people win and they kind of come and give us a little extra something. But yeah, it'd be a good thing. But yeah, so a lot of the stock trade people love working with Mama Loja. But yeah, so Oya is definitely, like I said, the mother of the marketplace, the one that can work with transactions and can bring all of that. Like I said again, Oya is the one that's like the wind, the changes, and all of those kind of different energies. So Oya can make things happen very fast for you. Especially I've noticed as a priest, Oya likes to come, especially when people is kind of being stubborn on a situation. Maybe it's a job and you know the people not valuing you. They overlooking you and you still stuck there. Oya make you just lose the job or something. She'll make you do what you need to do. So you may have the job you do. She might make, okay, you being stubborn, boo. But it'll make you open the doors, because sometimes we hold on to things that we have to let go, or some things that we need to get put to death. But Oya is that one to be like, nope, I'm gonna push you in the right direction. I'm gonna want you to do things better for you. I want you to be powerful. I want you to be, a person that's handling business. So that's the energy of Oya. Do we have any questions? Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And thank you guys.
Thank you, buddy. Hey, wait, you were following us. Don't you want to talk? Huh? Hi. Oh, he says, no, I do not want to be on YouTube. No, I do not want to be on YouTube. No, get me off that camera. What did you think of that?
That was very interesting.
It
and
was.
She was so beautiful, and I loved to listen to her and her stories.
I lost my wife. We just found out about this place, and we're like, what? An African village that's its own sovereign, has its
in
own
South
sovereignty?
Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird.
You come in, you see that sign that says you are now leaving the U.S. You're like, what? Pretty cool.